Hello everybody, hopefully this is going up. Heart to Edward Beador for the super chat before the stream even started. Thank you so much, you are wonderful. How is everyone doing today? Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da-boop, boop, boo-da-boo, boop, ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I hope everyone's doing good. Just waiting to see if I face... Oh my gosh, there's my voice on the screen. Everything sounds good. I'm not blowing out the speakers. Gonna turn us down a little bit. And then gonna turn down the medias. There we go. Everything sounds so good. That's a bit clipped. Why is this clipping? Why is everything clipping? Things are weirdly clipping. I'm sorry if my audio is a bit off today, but for some reason, audio's being weird. Anywho, light saturation levels are a little bit off. Yeah, everything's a little bit off today. I don't know why. There we are. That should be good, hopefully. There we are. Sorry. I'm checking to see how everyone's doing. Bit tired, though. Jesse Jenner, you seem happy. I am very happy, Dragon Wings 36. Good to see you. By the way, good to see. Let me see if I, let's see. Sounding good. Let me see. There we go. Sounding good. Okay. Let me just see. I want to say hi to everybody. Steve Ashlerner Turner, good to see you. My cat is staring at me and licking his lips. So that's what cats do. They will eat you. That's how they go. But good to see you. Good to see you, Fish Titan 64, Goza the Gozarian, Barbara B, Robert Smith, Brian Abbott, Cappuccino Crafts, Coop Sariri. Apologies if I said your name wrong, but Sariri Kalpa. Greetings. You're from Argentina. Well, welcome. And apologies if I did say your name wrong, but heart to you. Thank you. Psychic Refugee, good to see you. What the fuck is wrong with her? You get me every time. I always say the F word. And actually, Ava Belcher, Owen, Angie, Lisa, Ian. Good to see everybody. Laser Pipe. So, yes, Angie Peer, you got a new car. Congratulations. I've had barely functioning cars, too. I've actually had several. I've actually had a car set on fire on me. That's a long story that I can tell another time. And of course, Wellington Smith, you've been on this channel for forever. I'm surprised you weren't a moderator before, so I wanted to make you a moderator. Hey, Vale, good to see you. I hope you and Corey are doing good. Emily, good to see you. How is everybody doing tonight? I know everyone started already saying that, but I know everyone's, how's everyone been? The words and stuff. I say words good. I say words good into the interwebs. That's why y'all listen to me, cause I make words happen things. I try my best, everybody. I try my best. Oh, Catherine Lambert, thank you for the super chat. Heart to you. I really appreciate that. I finally got here in time for the opening song. Last week, 50k subs. This week, 60k. I know. I didn't want to do another video right afterwards, but oh my gosh, 60k subs already. That's insane. Thank you for all of, I should say this right up front, for all of you who are new to the channel or are turning into this live stream for the first time, welcome. It is really great to see you. Thank you for helping me get to 60k subs, and everyone else too. It is great to see all of you. You are all wonderful, and I'm so glad to have you all here. And I hope you're having a wonderful night. And Grant Johnson, thank you, heart for you for the super chat. Thank you for the pizza money. I'll either use that for pizza or for sushi, because sushi is my Friday night indulgence. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Grant. That is wonderful. So, as you may have noticed on if you clicked into the video, we're actually doing something kind of fun. I know, Emily, words are hard. All the best words. We're actually going to be doing something kind of fun, but I need to kind of explain it a little bit. So, right here, I got a fancy, it's actually really freaking heavy. I got a really big fancy box. Dust on it. So I got this big box right here. I guess fancy is the wrong term. But, I got this big box because, and I was actually supposed to get this months ago. So several months ago, actually way back before I think I even hit 20k. So like months and months ago, Eaglemoss reached out to me. Which, for those of you who don't know, Eaglemoss is a company that does like a lot of different really nice models. Like I have a few of them here. I don't know if I don't want to grab any ones off the wall, but that Archer back there, that's an Eaglemoss model of like Star Trek ships and everything. And someone at Eaglemoss reached out to me and said they were a fan of my channel and wanted to send me a bunch of like random ships. And knew I liked Enterprise, knew I liked a bunch of stuff. So they reached out to me and said, hey, would you want some free ships? We'll give them to you. So just to let everyone know right up front, this is not sponsored. They didn't tell me to do anything with these. They just said, we want to send you some free stuff. So just to sort of like get the ethical stuff out of the way, because I want to make sure I'm clear and open about this. These were given to me for free, but there was no like need to do anything. Like I am putting this, I am opening them in front of you because YouTube content is fun and it makes for fun content, makes for a fun time. I actually have literally no idea what's in the box. I have legitimately zero idea. I know there's like Star Trek stuff, but I don't know which Star Trek stuff, so that'll be fun. But there was no like saying like, oh, we'll give you this if you make content about it. So I'm doing this of my own volition. I'm sure they're very happy with that as well, but there was no sort of like quid pro quo sort of thing going on with any of this, and it was given to me for free. So I just want to make sure that that is all clear and open. I don't necessarily know exactly what the laws say, but I think I just covered whatever laws there are around that. So just want to be careful about that. But otherwise, should be a fun time because I have literally zero idea what's in here, and I'm very excited because the guy who sent me this stuff, who is super nice, he was very clear about how much he said like, oh, I know you really like Enterprise. So I don't want to get my hopes up. It might not have any Enterprise stuff, but there might also be Star Trek Enterprise stuff in there. So that has me very excited. It is. It's a J.J. Abrams mystery box, some random. And I know I missed a few super chats, so before we get started, let me just get to those real quick and say thank you. Angie Pugh, heart to you. Thank you for the super chat. I've introduced my 12-year-old son to Farscape. I love What the Frell after every episode. I love it. Well, thank you so much. What the Frell. It's nice to like hear people talk about What the Frell because that's on Council of Geeks' podcast feed, so I don't actually hear as many of the comments as she does. So it's actually really nice to hear that, and I'm glad you enjoy it because it's been fun for me seeing Farscape for the first time. I love that show. I'm excited to see how it ends. We're in the 3rd season now, so getting close. And Cynthia McG Poet, sorry, I totally bombed that, and I apologize. But heart to you. I hope you're doing well as well. Thank you so much for the super chat. You are lovely. And then this heart is for Edward Bedore. You're going to make me sing the It's Been a Long Road Getting From There to Here. I won't sing the whole thing just because I probably will sing it if there's Enterprise stuff in here in this box. So I'll do that. I'll save that for then. Watch it be full of cat turds. All right. Let's have some fun. We'll open this up, see what's in here, and then we'll have some fun chatting afterwards. All right. Make sure I don't reveal my address to the world. Actually, before I should have done that beforehand, but let me just ruin that. No offense. I love you all, but just want to be safe from internet trolls. So I'm just going to take that piece off. There you go. Now you can't tell. Let me just make sure I take that off too. Just in case, so no one knows where I live. Fish Titan 64, thank you so much for the super chat. All right. Let's open this thing. I'm using my steak knife so I don't have anything else. This is also, by the way, this is not good knife etiquette. I used to teach wood carving in Boy Scouts. This is terrible knife etiquette. You always cut away from yourself. So I'm gonna practice good knife etiquette here. No, at least I agree. I don't think anyone minds sponsored content, but I just like to be open about it because capitalism is always fun. Okay. Let's see. Alrighty. Okay. So much tape. Ah! Don't break I'm gonna break everything. Alright. Well, the first things first, as we learned last week, this is all I need. This is all I need for my content. And Andre Jones, thank you so much for the super chat. Ah! That was very disappointing. There we go. Alright, well, there are reams of that. That's gonna be fun to play with. Whee! Oh no, that one was less big. Whee! No! Be bigger! Alright, ooh, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, there's a few things in here. Folks, Folks, I'm so excited because the first thing I see, I see a few other things, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got the dumbest ship in all of Star Trek, and it's from Star Trek Enterprise, and I'm so happy about this. I'm legitimately so happy about this. I got the USS Enterprise J. Oh my gosh. I'm legitimately very excited about this. This is like the dumbest ship in all of Star Trek, and it's an Enterprise ship from Star Trek Enterprise. This is everything. It's like the dorkiest ship in all of the show. It makes me so happy. I'm legitimately pumped about this. Alright, let's see. Okay. Wait, okay. Oh my gosh. Look how big it is. It's so heavy. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at that saucer. And it's actually legitimately very heavy. Wow, damn. Okay. Wow, that is actually legit heavy. It's got the tiny little nacelles. Just like the tiniest little nacelles, barely held on there. Like it's not even detachable, like the cool ones that come after it. It's like the widest saucer section. It's like, I'm trying to think of a joke. I think the joke is just the saucer section. Oh my gosh, this is. I will set that up in a minute, but oh my gosh, that has me so pleased. I don't think anything that's in this box is going to top that, but that's freaking awesome. Oh my gosh, we're gonna come back to that later on because I'll probably set that up while we're on camera because that will probably be the creme de resistance. I can speak words and especially French. Something that's in here that I see that I already own, unfortunately, so apologies to Eaglemoss. But I already own this, because I bought it the other week. I wish I had known it was coming in the box. I actually would have grabbed, I would have not grabbed this, but I have two of them now. Maybe I'll give it away at some point to all of you. But this is a really good book. I will recommend. This is a sort of behind-the-scenes book that they made for the recent Star Trek anniversary, Star Trek Voyager's anniversary. And I've been actually reading my own version of it. So highly recommend this book, but I already own it, so very excited. Thank you to them for that. But I might give it away to someone who might enjoy it. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. Wow, there's a lot of crap in here. Dang. Ooh. Okay. Yes, Angie, I could donate it. That's actually a good idea. I will donate it to someone. I'll do something with this book for people who. I'll do something with it so that someone who wants it should get it. So, all right. Okay. Well, this one I am very excited about. It's the Borgified USS Voyager. Oh my gosh! Look at that! Look at that! It's also it's like tiny compared to like I just had the Enterprise J, which was like freaking huge, and then I get this tiny little thing. I love it though. I actually don't own. I own all of the Enterprise ships, like in some form or another, like some in different qualities than others. But this is the first one. Yeah, that's a good idea, Corey. It could be a prize for the next trivia night. But I've never owned a USS Voyager, so I'm actually very excited. And it's a Borgified one, so it looks even cooler. Look at that. It all borged up. It all borged up like a cute little Borgy ship. Everyone's saying give Steve Shives the Voyager book. I love that. For those of you who don't know, Steve is another YouTuber I do stuff with who is a wonderful person, but I don't want to say he hates Voyager, but he does not like Voyager all that much. It's probably his least favorite Trek show, which I find hysterical, so that would be hilarious. But I'd probably, as much as Steve would appreciate the book, I'm sure, I would like to give it to someone who probably couldn't get it another way. Ooh, what's this one? I don't even know what this is. Is this... I'm thinking this is a Borg sphere, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I love Voyager. Voyager's great. I mean, there's not a single Star Trek that I dislike, to be honest with you. Honestly, my personal least favorite... This is going to be causing a controversy. My personal least favorite... And it's not the one that I think is the worst quality, because I think they're all varying levels of good. But my personal least favorite Star Trek is actually The Next Generation. And I still love Next Generation, don't get me wrong, but that's my personal least favorite. That's a hot take. But again, personal favorite does not mean I think it's the least qualitative. qualitatively. Probably the best qualitatively. In most cases, maybe Deep Space Nine as well is argued to be better. But personally, it's my least favorite. I just don't connect with the characters as much. But yes, Borg sphere. Look at that. We are the Borg. We like spheres and spherical objects. What are you going to do about it? Look at it. Ooh, I could actually... Wait. Recreate Scorpion. Scorpion. Bow, ba-doo, ba-doo. I'm a child. Alright. This is actually pretty nice. I actually like this. This almost feels like a ball. I shouldn't throw it because it's actually really nice, but it feels like a ball I should throw. I know, Owen, blasphemy. I'm sorry. People are sharing their favorites. Yeah, I agree, Claytonberg. Season 1 and Season 7 of Next Generation are painful. Though early Season 7 of Next Gen is actually not bad. It's like later Season 7 was pretty terrible. Also, like, how many random, random family members could Enterprise or Next Generation crew members have? Alright, let's see what else is in here. Oh my gosh, they gave me so much, dang. Alright, I am very appreciative of this. Wow. Okay. Ooh, this one's fun. Oh, I love this one. This one's super cute. So, speaking of Deep Space Nine... Alright, speaking of Deep Space Nine... I've got a Deep Space Nine thing in here. This... Ooh, okay. I guess you have to put it together, because there's... Oh no, it broke! I'll have to glue that together. Well, this actually broke. The pieces are connected. It must have broken in the mail. But I will have to fix those. But this is really nice. It's the Sun Sailor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. One of the really beautiful ships and one of the beautiful episodes. Unfortunately, it looks like these pieces broke off. Unless there's... Yeah, that definitely broke off. That's unfortunate. But looks like they're gluable back on. So I have some model glue. Don't worry, I'll fix this. But it is the Sun Sailor. Maybe because it's so... This is why you don't use a Sun Sailor. But yeah, I'm actually gonna put that down just to be very safe with it. So, but yes, looks like it broke, but it is a very beautiful ship. And I know Edward Bedor, thank you so much for... I saw the super chat, so sending you a heart. Thank you for super chat. Okay, let me put that down over here, very careful so it doesn't break any further. All right. So, ooh, speaking of another Voyager thing, I'm going to be saying ooh every single time. But here we go. Oh my gosh. Look at this. This is the Delta Flyer. The Delta Flyer. Hey, Bree Beecher, good to see you, by the way. Eaglemoss sent the package, but it's good to see you, Bree Beecher. Bree is a wonderful, wonderful creator over on the Trek Central channel, and she's also a wonderful, amazing human being and cosplayer. You should definitely check out Bree Beecher because she is absolutely lovely. And it's good to see you, by the way. But yes, Delta Flyer. Look at that. Tom Paris himself built this ship. Look at that. That's so good. It's really nice. It's actually weird because I think this is bigger than Voyager. Like, the Delta Flyer here is actually bigger than the Voyager. That's hilarious. I actually like that the shuttlecraft is bigger than the actual ship version that I have. That's what happens when you get Borgified. You get smaller. Oh my gosh, I love that. So another thing I see in here that I actually already own, so I might give it away too. But I got the USS Enterprise, the NX-01 refit. So this is actually really cool. This actually I really, really love, but I already own it. It's actually already over there. So I'm going to leave it in the box here. But I have this, but I love this because it's like on the top of it. It looks just like the NX-01 ship from the series, but then on the bottom they added like the little deflector dish bit from that make it look like more like the original series. And this ship is probably one of the best ships in all of Star Trek. And I'm just sad it never actually got to have its due on screen. They were planning on doing this ship for season 5 of Star Trek Enterprise, but sadly they never actually got to make it. So I love this ship. And the model is really gorgeous. Like I said, you can see it actually right there in the video. It's sitting right there. I'm kind of connected to a bunch of wires at the moment. Otherwise, I'd go over and grab it. But I'm gonna leave this in the case because this is a really good ship, and I'll also probably give it away probably to my patrons or something. So, but really good ship, very very cool. All right. What else is in here? There's 3 more things in here. So 3 more things. I don't know what this one is actually. Oh, is this? Oh, I know what this is. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is really cool. Does it even say what it is on here? I think I'm 90% sure I know what this is. Okay. Yeah, keep the NXO one in case yours breaks. No, I'll probably just I'd rather give it away and let someone else I want to like watch say words. I want to like give it away, like if I already own it, I would rather have someone else to give a chance to love it instead of like being stuck in a room somewhere. So I'll give it away to somebody. But anyways, this guy right here, people may tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the toy that Archer was playing with as a child in the pilot of Star Trek Enterprise. Way back in in Broken Bow of Star Trek Enterprise, there's those scenes. I think it's like the first scene of the episode, the first scene of Star Trek Enterprise ever. Archer is a little kid with his dad, and he's playing with a little toy. And I think this is the toy, the sort of like model of the first like Warp 5 engine and ship. So I think like the nacelles and everything. I'm 90% sure that's what this is, and that's super cool because that's like super niche-y Star Trek Enterprise stuff for me. Like, give me the most niche of niche stuff from Star Trek Enterprise, and I think that this is, I think that's what this is. So, yeah, the RC car, yeah, cool. Archer's toy also, is it in the opening sequence? I didn't know it was in the opening sequence. Maybe you're right. But yeah, get me some Bacula. Give me some back, baby. Bacula, baby. Back, baby. Hey, Trek Sphere, good to see you. Always also good to see Trek Sphere in here. I don't see you often in the actual Trek Sphere account. Good to see you. You are lovely. Sending you half a heart because I have stuff in my hand. Let's see. Alright, just gonna put this down. Let's see. Oh, I'll have thoughts on that, Miss Wicked Wolf, when you're talking about Black Widow. So let me put that down over here. Alright, so this is cool. I can't see what this other one is, but this one is so insanely cool. Okay, speaking of another cool thing, the Uss Defiant. Oh my gosh. It's been a long time. But my time... Sorry, I saw a homebody say that. But anyways. Oh my gosh. Look at this. The USS Defiant. See, this is another series. I have a few... I don't have a lot of Voyager toys. I have a few Deep Space Nine toys. But I don't have any Deep Space Nine ships. Because all the ships are always like the Enterprise and everything. Let's see. Can we all just agree that Jonathan Archer is Sam Beckey never got back to the time, but he ended up in the future and joined Star? I always loved that idea. Bit messed up that he's like stuck in whoever Jonathan Archer's body is, but that's hilarious. All right. Oh my gosh, this is huge. That's what she said, by the way. Haha. Ooh, and heavy too. Look at that. Look at this. Tough little ship. There we go. It's a tough little ship. Oh my gosh, that's like as big as my head almost. Dang. That's so cool. It's got to get that new ship smell. Legitimately. It's got like a very fresh, like new car smell to it. I like it. But look at this. And Scotty did kill Porthos, and I will never forgive him for that. Oh my gosh. Good to see you, Louie Man Gaming. But yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I gotta figure out a place to put this. I gotta figure out a place to put all of these. Of course, the Enterprise J is probably gonna get a place of honor. So, turf little ship. Alright. That is the Defiant. So, there's one more thing in here. I actually, from my angle, I cannot see what it is. So, this is going to be a surprise to me. Alright, let's see what it is. I'm gonna put that down right there. Alright, so I'm gonna close my eyes and just show you what it is, because I have no idea. So I actually cannot see. I can only see like the top of the box. So I can only see this part. I haven't seen what this is yet. So is it cool? You all can see it now, and I can't. So I'm gonna find out. You find out before me. Oh dang! Okay, that's legitimately cool. Oh my gosh, that's legitimately cool. I got the Borgified Voyager and Voyager, like the XL Voyager. Now the Delta Flyer can fit inside this one. Oh my gosh. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Let's get this out of here. All right. Let's see if I can get it out of here. So much styrofoam. Oh, look at you, you sexy little ship. Look at you. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Oh. Oh. Oh, this is heavy too. Oh, this is so nice. Look at how sleek. Look at those curves. Look at those lady curves. Ugh. I love it. I love this ship. Sorry, I'm just admiring this. Apologies. I'm like kind of speechless because this is actually legitimately really cool. I even got like look at that. Look at that. You got the like little shuttle bay. There's the angle there. Oh my gosh. Could fly the Delta Flyer right in that thing's butt. I'm a child. I'm a child, everybody. I'm sorry. But yes, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Sorry, I'm like actually kind of speechless. I'm like usually very jokey. I have nothing to say other than this is so insanely cool, and I am going to have so much fun finding places for these. Oh, this just makes my day. I am actually so excited about this. Oh, I love this. Well, if any of the Eaglemoss people are listening now or after the chat, thank you so much. I legitimately very much appreciate these. These are so cool. And I got two things. Like all the stuff that I got was really cool and stuff that I love, and all the other things. The nacelles don't move. It doesn't look like, sadly. You were asking Dean, but and I got some stuff to give away, so I'll actually get to pass it along a little bit, which will be super nice. I like sort of passing it along, moving it along home, if you would say. So that is so cool. And also I got a crap ton of adult bubble wrap. That just brings me joy. Brings me almost as much joy as the ship, because I'm a 2-year-old. Alright. Well, thank you so much for watching it, and thank you, Eaglemoss people. That was super wonderful. Alright, I am going to, once the stream is over, I'm going to have to find a place to put all of that stuff. But that is for later, Jesse. That is anxiety for later, Jesse, to figure out. I'm trying to figure it out. I'll find out. Anywho, you might be seeing some of it in the background here tonight for the whatchamacallit, the Falcon and Winter Soldier review tonight. Anywho, the chat's probably catching up to me now that I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna fix this. And let's just chat. I will hang around. For those of you who don't know, some of you I might have missed. I think I saw some people in the chat who just joined for the first time. But for those of you who don't know, so normally when we're not doing these sort of unboxing things, this chat stream is the weekly chat stream of that I just do where, every single Thursday I just come, we hang out, we chat. Sometimes I do something cool like that, but otherwise we just sort of hang out. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I just sort of respond to the chat. If anyone does super chats, I give hearts for super chats, and obviously I answer those. But otherwise we just sort of chill and have fun. So, yay. Okay, so just sort of hang out and whatever you all want to talk about. So, and actually, since someone asked, who just asked? Let's see. Someone, I want to call the person's name. Louis Man Gaming. You asked. So, actually, since I have the tank top on, you can actually see it kind of right now. So this is actually, for those of you, I think, yes, you called it right, Gozer. This is Smog the Dragon. Right here, and his tail goes up into the Lonely Mountain from Lord of the Rings, from The Hobbit. This is the actual illustration from the map that Token drew. Originally, my actual design that I actually came up with for the artist was that I was just going to have his tail kind of go around my arm. There wasn't going to be the mountain, and it was just going to be the tail. It was going to go around and hook through his wing here. But then I went in the day that I was going to get the tattoo, and the artist was just like, oh, I decided to add the Lonely Mountain. I'm like, you are the best person I have ever met in my life, and I adore you with all my heart. You are putting that on my body. And it was wonderful. His breath is death. Yes, some random geek. So yeah, and the reason that I got it, just to give you sort of the story behind it, is my dad was when I was younger, when my dad used to come into my room at nights, and he would read me a chapter of The Hobbit at night, and it was the first like adult book that ever got written to me. Adult book, considering it was the book with chapters, essentially, like it was in like novel form, and then it was the first book that I ever read on my own, and it's still to this day my favorite book of all time. Like I adore The Hobbit so much. So I just got it tattooed on my body. So, and I saw a super chat. Mickey says, happy 60K. Well, heart to you, Mickey, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for helping me get to 60K. I said that earlier in the stream, but for those of you who may join later, like, thank you to all of you. And this heart is especially for Mickey. So thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Other questions here. What's your process for getting out so many videos? I need a process, and I admire your output. My process is to have no social life and to have lots of anxiety. That means that I feel like I need to be productive all the time. That is possibly the case. And in fact, that is definitely the case. In terms of process, I would honestly say, like, if this wasn't a pandemic, I would not have been at this level of videos. Because I do a full-time job and I do videos. So what I generally tend to do is I'm a fast writer. And actually, let me turn down, I think my audio is a bit loud, so let me turn down my audio a little bit. But I'm actually a very fast writer. So I usually tend to write my scripts and then then sit a day and wait on them and then edit them. I'm sorry. So just to give you a process of videos, like I'll write a script and then I'll wait a day, come back to it and edit it. And then I'll film it that day, usually after I edit it. And then, yeah, let me back up my mic. My mic, there's been some weird audio stuff with this computer lately, so I apologize if there's been some advanced audio properties. Let's see. Yeah, weird. I do apologize if my audio is being persnickety, everybody. But yeah, so I shoot that day, and then I usually can edit it very quickly if it's like one of those like really quick videos, like it's just like me talking at a camera. If it's something like that requires a lot more editing or try to do something fun, I usually edit that over the week. And I try to do like several of them at once, and I'm just also a fast editor. Like I lucked out that a lot of my skills that I'm quick with are sort of like things that I'm very, very fast with. I'd have to think harder about like how to talk about like my process for it a little bit better, because I could probably be a little bit more cogent on it. But that's generally what I try to do. Yeah, I don't know. I just streamline my biggest advice is I just streamline my process a lot. Like I have a lot of like saved plugins, like for a lot of my edits, I like have them like presets that I just put in. I have like a very strict process of like, okay, this is when the video goes in, this is how I edit it, this is da 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 da. And that's how I'm sort of able to get it out so fast. But like I said, that being said, I don't have much of a social life at the moment because pandemic. So that's probably enabled me to have more videos than most at the moment, just because my social life, because like I don't socialize super well, even in the best terms, because of my anxiety. So just, during pandemic helps. All right. And I got another super chat from Wellington. Heart to you. Thank you, Archers. Or thank you, Wellington. I just saw Archer. Archer's RC Toys not in the opening credits. I checked correcting the record, and hearts to you for being such a childish adult. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, I was surprised. Like, I didn't think it was in the opening credits, but I might be misremembering. I misremember all the time, so no worries. Let's see. Some people just said they came in for the first time. Well, Mark Tolsom, thank you so much for the happy 60K. I really appreciate that, and the heart emojis. Let's see. Some other people said, this is my first time here. Well, for many people if this is your first time popping in, heart to all of you, welcome to the chat and hanging out. Someone just asked about DC Fontana. Today is DC Fontana's birthday, and actually tomorrow is Leonard Nimoy's birthday. To give you all a preview, I'm actually doing a video on Leonard Nimoy for tomorrow, because it's Leonard Nimoy Day. That's going to be my Friday video, but I still have to edit it real quick. But anyways, But yes, DC Fontana. DC Fontana, Steve Shives did a really great video honoring DC Fontana. For those of you who don't know, DC Fontana was one of the lead writers for Star Trek: The Original Series. She sort of did like editing on a bunch of scripts beforehand, and then she started writing her own scripts, and then became one of the leading forces behind Star Trek: The Animated Series. Basically, she helped run that show even more so than Roddenberry, the animated series, and then helped create The Next Generation as well. And I know that this is kind of a sort of stereotypical answer with DC Fontana, but I really think her best script was oh my gosh, the Yesteryear from Star Trek: The Animated Series. Like, Yesteryear is legitimately a phenomenal Star Trek episode that kind of gets forgotten. Because it's on the animated series, and the animated series is great. Like, it's generally really solid, but Yesteryear is like the best Star Trek that like is in that show. So I think that's her best work, and truly like added to the canon of Vulcan and Spock's backstory. Like, really, if you ever like the idea of the Forge Desert on Vulcan comes from Yesteryear. A lot of different stuff comes from Yesteryear, so I highly recommend it. Let's see. I didn't see, Lisa, you're asked, did you see the thing where Shatner claims he never watched a single episode of the original series? I saw the headline. I didn't read the actual story, so I don't know what he was specifically saying. But whatever. Shatner gonna Shatner, I guess. Whatever. That's just a weird response. He has to have. Like I know he probably didn't write them because he had ghostwriters, but he's written Star Trek books. He directed a Star Trek movie. I would assume he's seen episodes of Star Trek. I don't know. Whatever. I'd have to like look at his actual quote to see what he was saying. But I find that surprising. But whatever. It's not a big deal. Let's see. There was something else. Jamie Sample says, if you get the chance to listen to Spock vs. Q, you can listen to Spock vs. Q. I actually did a whole video on Spock vs. Q. I love Spock vs. Q so much. It's one of my personal favorite. In fact, like I said, I'm doing the script for Leonard Nimoy for tomorrow, and I actually wrote about I mentioned Spock vs. Q in that video, so that will definitely be going up there. Rosie says, have you watched The Expanse? Think you might like it. I actually have. I did a video on it. I did a video on The Expanse a little while ago. And also, oh my gosh. Seriously? A package just arrived. I have some Amazon packages coming. And of course, they're calling me right now to tell me that they're probably delivering it. Screw it. They always come during the live stream. I apologize to the delivery person because I'm sure he's doing just his job and doing wonderfully, but timing is bad, and I would rather hang out with all of you, and I'll get the package stuff tomorrow. But what was I talking? The Expanse. Yeah, I love The Expanse, and I've read all the Expanse books, and I do plan on doing a video. I keep wanting to do a video on The Expanse, but my thing with the reason I haven't done the Expanse video yet is because I really love that show and that book so much that I just don't. I want to do it justice. Like, I kind of know what I have to say, what I want to say on it, but I know it's going to require like a ton of research, and because I love The Expanse so much, like, I don't want to fail it. If that makes any sense. So, oh my gosh, please. But there we go. Owen, you left, but heart to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it, even though I know you're heading out. So, Jamie Sample, have you seen Lower Decks? I've definitely seen Lower Decks. I did reviews of every episode, and I love it. Mike McMahon actually follows me on Twitter, which made me very, very happy. Yeah, sorry, the packages aren't anything. They're I think they're just clothing for, like, I think one of them is actually a costume for an upcoming video I'm doing. So I will need that, but none of it's urgent stuff, so no, Porch Pirates, yeah, that does happen a lot here in Seattle, but the way that Amazon works here in Seattle is they don't leave it unless you, like, they can put it in a secure location. And what's nice about where apartment I live is there's like a little secure mail room, but they have to be let into it by somebody. And so if I don't let them in or someone else don't let them in, they'll call, and if no one picks up, then they'll leave and come back tomorrow, which I feel bad because it's a waste of the delivery person's time, but it happens how it goes. Let's see. Black Cover 95. I'm sorry, I've just been missing your comments. Like, chat goes, and sometimes I see things, sometimes I don't. It's nothing against you. Don't worry. But nothing against you, Black Cover. See, I'm seeing them now. But yeah, no, it's nothing against you. I just sort of like the chat goes, and I'll catch and miss stuff as it is. So that is what it is. Let's see. The last Star Trek book I had, reading Vincent Valiant, the last Star Trek book I read had something to do with Picard falling in love with a woman named Crystal. That was years ago. My memory's a bit fuzzy. I don't know what that book is. I vaguely recall that too, actually. Was it Death in Winter? It might be Death in Winter, but that doesn't seem right. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's Death in Winter, but I'm not 100% on that. So. EXPR Azar, hey Jesse, if you haven't already listened to it, I recommend Alien Voices recordings of Journey to the Center of the Earth. I love that one. In fact, again, I'm mentioning this in my Leonard Nimoy video that I'm doing tomorrow. But I'm actually going to be, there's a significant chunk of that video that is going to be on Alien Voices. Because Alien Voices actually is a surprisingly forgotten part of Leonard Nimoy's work that I really, really love. So. Let's see. Siriri Kalpa, do you consider yourself some kind of journalist because you're very good at it like already? Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So yes and no in terms of journalism. So I did work at The Advocate, which is, if you don't know what The Advocate is, and by the way, Black Cover, I'll get to your next question, but I just want to let you know that I saw it. But I did work at The Advocate, which, for those of you who don't know, was an LGBTQ magazine, a journalist magazine, still is. And they also own Pride.com, and sort of the conglomerate that owns it, Pride Media, owns Advocate, Pride.com, and Out Magazine. And I did write for all three of those outlets, and make videos for all three of those outlets for a full-time job for about 2 years or so. Way back in 2016 to 2018, I believe, was the time frame. So I did learn some journalistic ability there. So I try to follow those standards generally and try to do that type of work, like do journalistic work in that way as much as I can. Like I wrote some stories, I did some videos and reports, and wrote articles, and it's how I learned to do a lot of writing back then, and try to be like very clear in my ideas and what I wanted to say, which I can still do better about because my videos are always way too long. But what was I saying? Yeah, see, I'm clear about stuff. But I would also say, for when it comes to YouTube, while I do try to hold myself accountable to those things and do try to fact check everything, try to make sure everything is clear and true, and I'm not trying to misrepresent anything as best I can. And when I am trying to state my opinions, I kind of try to make that clear within the videos that I'm stating my opinion versus what the facts are of the situation, which is everything a journalist should do. I am also just by myself. I am doing this by myself, and while that's certainly a legitimate way for a journalist to do work, I hesitate about saying that I am a journalist just because I generally, while I like to fact check everything and do everything, and I do that work, I always like to have someone who's secondary do it. And for my big videos, I always try to have someone else read my videos, but otherwise I don't know, when it comes to YouTube, like, I have nothing holding me accountable other than all of you. Like, you're my audience. It holds me accountable, but there's nothing holding me accountable in terms of the information that I put out. So I just sort of like want to say to people, like, always double check whatever I say if you're gonna use it in some way, shape, or form. Like, again, I try my best to present the information correctly and accurately as I can find it, and as I can report it, and as I can talk about it. But I always ask people to double check your work, my work, and things like that. That's why I generally try to. Sometimes I forget because I just get lost in the shuffle. But I generally try to put all my sources down below so that you can check up on my sources as well. So that would be that the long answer to that question. In the middle of the earth, in the land of the shy, lives a brave. Let's see that, Rowan. That's great. I was just figuring out my Leonard Nimoy video. I will be mentioning the ballad. Like, the script does mention the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins. It very much does. It very much does. I think someone earlier. Well, let me get Black Cover 95s. I saw it use. I didn't know you used to be a missionary. I didn't used to be a missionary. I'm trying to remember what I was saying in that video. Going through my back. You're going through all my backlogs. So what I used to do was, my family used to be part of. Well, so my parents are divorced, and on my mom's side, they are Roman Catholic, like uber Roman Catholics, like did the whole Roman Catholic thing, like deep down that well. Like my grandmother did the rosary every single day with my grandfather 3 times a day if they could manage it, all that stuff. So very, very Roman Catholic on my mom's side. On my dad's side, he was Protestant, and so was my stepmother. But they started taking us to a Wesleyan church, and the Wesleyan church did a lot of missionary type of work. And so while I don't necessarily think that, there was a time where, like, I never was super religious in my life, but I always tried to be, like I wanted to be. And I also, the Wesleyan church, I will say, the Wesleyan church, for setting aside the problematic stuff with, like, some stuff the church does, that church actually did a lot of good, I think, in the community. And so I'd like to do a lot of work with them. And I tried to do, like, they did a lot of, like, outreach to the community and tried to do, like, events to, like, do fundraisers for different stuff. And so I helped with all that stuff. And then I also went to a few, like, of their summer camps as well, which is very, like, go and, like, learn about, Jesus, try to accept Jesus in your heart, that sort of stuff. And again, there's no judgments on me for that. And I tried very hard to invest in that myself. But for me, I couldn't invest in it. I have always said that I am agnostic theist, or at least I've said that for the past, over the past, 15, 20 years of my life, something along those lines. Probably 15 years is probably closer. So there's no judgment on me on anyone's religion. Problems with religious institutions. You're talking about the one where you're going door to door about trans interests. Sorry, I thought you were talking about religious stuff, but we went on the side story about my religious background. There's probably a whole video in there that I could talk about all of that experience, to be very honest with you. But in terms of talking about door-to-door trans interests, that I actually did do. That I wouldn't necessarily call that missionary work. That's more, I guess you would call it like advocacy work, or canvassing. Canvassing is probably the best way to put it, because that was a much more political thing. The Los Angeles LGBT Center, they do canvassing work where they will go door to door and talk to people about trans issues and just try to, just share. Especially that was about like the bathroom bills at the time. So we would go door to door and just, as a trans person, I would just sort of like share my story and talk to people and be like, hey, I know you probably heard the stories about trans people going to the bathroom. I know it's very scary. We want to, it's always best to like confront people with the story and not hide that story. And then be like, but I'm just a trans person just trying to live. Like, those things don't actually happen. Like, the things that one of the things that I loved about that canvassing work, and one of the things that I thought was super smart about it, is what they would do in that sort of canvassing work for the LGBT Center is when they would go door to door, they would talk to somebody, and our first thing to say was, hey, so once they accepted the conversation, we didn't just start like ranting at them, but they're like, hey, do you have a moment to talk? Yeah, let's talk. It's like, oh, well, can I just show you this video? And we would actually show them the sort of like video that was like, scary trans people are going into the bathroom and going to harm you. Like, we would show them that video that were made by different like conservative groups and campaigns. And we would show them that, and they'd be like, and they would say like, and we would ask them like, what did you feel about that? And they were like, yeah, that does seem kind of scary. Like, that does seem kind of worrying. And we would actually be like, yeah, we get that. It does seem kind of scary, but then sort of go into it and kind of break down what the problems were with it. Like, well, that doesn't actually happen. When I'm a trans person, when I go into the bathroom, I'm worried too sometimes about I'm going to be attacked for being trans, especially if you put me in a guy's bathroom if I'm a trans woman. And just sort of like break it all down, kind of like a much more personal way that YouTube is, right? Like, YouTube is kind of, like, that's the kind of work that I do, and that I think a lot of people have found effective on YouTube, is like not shying away from these issues, but like talking about them directly and then sharing like, yeah, I understand that fear. I understand where your worry is coming from, but also, it might be misguided or it might be manipulated by other people, things like that. So that was sort of like what we did with that work, and I thought it was like very effective. It's a lot of hard work, to be very honest. To be honest, like, it sucks that trans people have to do that work to protect ourselves, but in an imperfect world where that sort of work is necessary, I think that's an effective way to do things. So. So I'm just catching up on the chat. I saw some people were asking me about my tattoos. I talked about them earlier in the stream, so if you want to hear more about my tattoos, I have a stream earlier. I talk about earlier in the stream. You can rewind too. So let's see. Talking about Philosophy Tube. Yes, I have seen Philosophy Tube. Philosophy Tube is actually one of my inspirations creatively. We also have, have had mild correspondence. She thanked me. I wrote an article about her years ago for Pride.com, and she sent a thank you for the article. So just to be open about that, I haven't talked to her in any length or any way, but we've had correspondence. And she is honestly a big inspiration. I love her work. She just recently came out as trans. I talked about that in a video. I also understand people's problems with her. I mentioned Philosophy Tube in my video on Wednesday, actually, about Elliot Page, and I saw some people in the comments saying like, "Oh, I have problems with Philosophy Tube," and I totally get that. I don't ever want to shy away from the problematic stuff. Like, personally, I look for her for inspiration. I think she's a really kind person and really smart person, but I also understand that there are some issues. I think, I even talked about them in one of my videos that I did a while ago. That was like some sort of jokes that could be deemed transphobic, and I still stand by that to a little bit. Even though she came out as trans after that fact, because let me just try and remember the best way to explain this. Like, trans people can still be transphobic. It's possible for us to still be transphobic. It's still possible for us to marginalize other parts of the trans community, for example, for like being ambiphobic. Like, I even consider myself non-binary, but I still make mistakes. Like, there was in a video a few weeks ago, I accidentally misconstrued. I didn't intend this, and I didn't state this, but I accidentally implied without intending to that like non-binary people are sort of like always agendered and don't align with a gender presentation, and that is 100% not true. I don't align with any sort of gender presentation in any way. Rephrase. I definitely align with a gender presentation is what I mean. Like, I identify as a non-binary trans woman. Like, I feel more akin to the feminine side of presentation and present more femininely, but I am still non-binary, right? And so in that video, I accidentally implied that, and that some people had a problem with that, as well they should. Now, some people assumed like I was intending that and I was trying to be ambiphobic, but that wasn't the case. I wasn't trying to be intentionally ambiphobic, but just because I'm not intentionally being ambiphobic doesn't mean that I'm not being, harmful or misconstruing things or presenting stereotypes or being ambiphobic. Ambiphobic is not necessarily a thing that you are, but an action that you make. And so it's just important to acknowledge, like, where we, especially if we're creators with the platform, will we make mistakes, right? Like, I am going to screw up. I screwed up before. I screwed up in that video about non-binary folks. That's against my own community. I also made a joke years ago. There was like a Disney video that I did that I made a joke making fun of a man's name, and the man was Chitwichell Ejiofor, and I'm probably mispronouncing it now, but I made a joke about the fact that his name was hard to pronounce, and that is deeply offensive to people whose names aren't sort of like seen as the Western norm, and it can be racist. And so that wasn't my intention. I wasn't intending to make fun of like him for his race or anything, but like, people's names sound weird or are hard to spell because in our society we don't see those types of names as the norm. And so that joke was wrong of me. It was harmful of me. It was bad for me to do. And I'm saying that now, I'm sharing it with all of you because, like, I shouldn't shy away from that. I shouldn't hide from that. I should acknowledge where I made a mistake, and I try to learn from it. It's why I try so hard now to, if I'm saying hi to somebody and I say like all of your names in the chat, you'll notice what I try to do now is like, I try to say like, I'm going to pronounce your name, but I'm going to, if I mispronounce it, I do apologize. Because I want you all to know that my intention is never to mispronounce your name. I may mispronounce it because I'm a silly idiot who can barely pronounce regular words. I'm not an idiot, I know, I just sort of say that, but like, just for this conversation, right? Like, You know, I'm going to mispronounce words. I can barely pronounce regular English words. So names are sometimes hard for me. And I just always want to make clear that I'm never intentionally tried to hurt anybody about that. Anyways, so I just want to talk about that. I know that I know I see some people in the chat talking about Abigail. I know Gozer, the Gozerian Gozer. I know you were someone that I was wanted to specifically. You called out. You know, you have issues with Abigail. And let's see. And, you know, I don't think you're necessarily wrong with those things. So I think it's very, 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 very worthwhile to hear those criticisms. I don't want to start talking about it on it now, not because I don't want to hear anything about Abigail, but I will talk about myself on a live stream. But when it comes to other people, like, I want to make sure I get it correct when it comes to, you know, talking about criticisms about them, because I don't want to misconstrue anything. But Gozer, I would encourage everybody to, Gozer, you made a comment on my video from Wednesday, that I would direct everyone to, because I thought it was a very good comment. So. Oh, well, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see. Mossel Green, heart to you. Sending you a heart. Thank you for the super chat. Thought Slime made a joke like that once, poking fun at I think some Irish name he didn't know how to pronounce. Then he found out that comment anti-Irish trope and apologized in a later video. I mean, yeah, I mean that's part of, like, this is part of that's how the best way to put it. It's like, this is part of being a creator, right? It's one of those like hard lines to walk, because, you know, YouTube is a place, I mean, it's a confluence of a bunch of different things. One, YouTube is a place that asks me to put out content every single, like, as fast as possible. The more content I make, the better I do. And the better I do, the better I'm able to pay my bills, better I'm able to succeed on here, better I'm able to get more, you know, things like that. Those little numbers that YouTube keeps throwing at me keep going up, and the dopamine hit that comes with that. So there's that element of it, and because of that, it asks you to just go really, really fast. And sometimes you don't check things. And I don't want to say that it's just that, because there's other things where, like, I have blind spots. I make mistakes on stuff. Like, whenever I'm making content, like, I try my best to double check, try to think of as many people, be as empathetic to as many people as possible. But I'm going to fuck up. Excuse my language on there. But I'm going to make mistakes. I've made mistakes in the past. I've already talked about that. I'm going to make mistakes in the future. Like, there's no way around that. As much as that sucks, and I try my best to be absolutely careful to be as open and honest as possible, but I'm going to make mistakes. But that is also, when I say that, I'm not saying that to dismiss criticism, right? I'm not asking you to, I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm going to make mistakes, so that, you know, it's okay that I'm going to do that. It's like, no. If I make mistakes, I should be held accountable to that. And that's what I hope all of you will do in the future. Like, all of you watching the stream and everything. It's like, I'm going to make mistakes, and I want you all to bring it forward and talk about me, and be clear when I make that mistake. You know? Be clear when I screw up. Be clear when I've been harmful to people. That's part of the conversation about having this type of community. By the way, hey Vera, good to see you. But that's part of what this conversation, that's part of what building a positive community is about. And so I hope, the only thing I would ask is just know that whenever I'm making content, even when I screw up, if I screw up, the point is not the point. When I screw up, just know that my heart and my goal and my intention is always to try to be the best for the most people, and try to care about the most vulnerable among us and the most vulnerable people. That is always my intention, my goal. I may not always succeed in that. In fact, I will never always succeed in that. I'm 100% sure, but that is always my goal. And so I want everyone to hold me accountable, but also know that my attempt is trying to be accountable. Now, how I react to that criticism will also be telling and important, right? I'm always going to try to listen to criticism and be open to criticism and hear where I screwed up. But it's incumbent upon me to be very open about that and respond to that, and respond to where I hurt people, if I do hurt people, you know? So it's complicated. It's why I always say nuance is a thing, right? You know, I have that little catchphrase, nuance is a thing. When we talk about nuance, and I should make this clear in my videos, is like, you know, I am not the queen of nuance, you know? I try to make my videos, I say nuance is a thing in my videos because I try to talk about topics that I like, see them from different angles, or trying to go in further, so like see things past like the overall stuff. But the nuance also applies to me. I am going to screw up things. You know, I am going to make some mistakes, and you should look at the nuance of what I say and create that conversation around it. So yeah. I think that's everything I kind of had to say on that topic, but I've been thinking about it. I've just been thinking about it a lot lately. And so thank you for giving me a chance to rant about it a little bit. So. Also, by the way, I'm looking at, some people have been asking, but just because I mentioned nuance is a thing, and I've just been thinking about that, I am trying to set up a merch store, and there will be a nuance is a thing t-shirt, also an Ensign Cricket t-shirt, though I doubt since considering how much the channel's grown, I doubt half of you even know what Ensign Cricket is. But anyways, nuance is the thing, and Ensign Cricket will return at some point. I just need time to write the next script. But nuance is a thing. I will have a t-shirt. The thing with the reason the merch store is taking a while is because I want to think of how I want to do that, because you know I do want to try and do YouTube full time, and part of that means like I do need to make enough money to pay the bills. So I do want to, you know, make money off the merchandise, but I also feel uncomfortable about making money off of merchandise. So I want to try and figure out a way to like donate some of the money to charities and figure out how to do that. Find also merch stores that are ethical in how they make their merchandise as well. So I'm trying to do some research on that. So I will be doing that, and I will also be trying to do at least like some of the money to charity. We'll see exactly how it goes. But because I just, there's parts of me that's like, I don't entirely feel comfortable having like making money off of merchandise. Like I'll make money, I guess, off of the YouTube algorithm, but for some reason my brain's like merchandise. No. So we'll figure it out. But it will happen because I know some people have been asking. So that is intended. We'll see how long it takes. So. All right. Sorry, I'm just catching. Oh, Sarah, I missed your super chat. I'm so sorry. Hi. Sending you a heart. Thank you so much, Sarah, for the super chat. How about High Priestess of Nuance? Like I said, I appreciate that, and nuance is really important. As Emily Chambers says, fracking nuance is important. But like I said, I make no claim to be the end all be all of where the nuance stops, or where the buck stops when it comes to nuance. But yeah, I try my best. I guess that's the best way I could say it. But that nuance is the thing also applies to me because I'm going to screw up. So. Yeah, Jamie, that's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm probably going to donate to either a trans or an autism charity, or ideally one that does both. I would probably lean towards trans, just because those are the ones that I know the most. But I'm not against doing it for an autism charity. Maybe I'll even change it up month to month. We'll see how it all works out. But I will figure it out. Speaking of which, though, it is 7 o'clock, and I still have to edit my Leonard Nimoy video before my before Falcon and the Winter Soldier tonight. So I still got a bit of work to do this evening, everybody. So I love you all. I'm gonna send you all a heart, and thank you so much for being wonderful and amazing. And I am excited to figure out where to be putting all these things, like the USS Voyager. Should be a fun time. But you're all lovely. You're all wonderful. And you are all beautiful. Sending you a heart. And EXPR Azor, you're asking me about Boy Scouts. I will talk about Boy Scouts on the next live stream. Just remind me next time. But you are all lovely, and I will see you all later. All right, I'm going to end this stream. Corey, I got the stream. I got the button right here for you, Corey. So, all right. Love you all. You're all beautiful people.